against the likes of the Renekton itself can obviously trim it away. And I feel like the composition of T1, very hard to push into. You know, it's very hard to move forwards when you have the bounce house of the Alistair, you have the CC.
Let's jump onto the Rift here for game number 1 of our second playoff series. And that was Khan and Wolf introducing the two teams, leading the fan chants. You can hear both say...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of rivalry there.
Yeah, a lot. As Galen going to grand exit from this one. Def be in trouble, though. He is in the Dragon Pit, and he's going to have to flash at level 1. Gumushi and Kerry are just trying to keep him here. He's going to take too much damage here before having to flash, and is eventually going to do it. As Zeus puts a ward over, but as soon as he moves up, Canyon may find an opportunity instead. Thinking about just keep... Okay, never mind. Zeus, let's see whether he does have to flash, and he does. Does it very early as well.
You know, with the Renekton, you need to get up close.
Well, flash is available, but Canna, he's going to flash slice, try and get himself out. As now a fight towards the bottom side carrier. Fair bit of damage has been taken already. As Canyon moving on in. Can they actually make a dive work, though? As notoriously difficult to take down a pulverize-wielding cow. As this turret is, as Deft. Oh, just barely spotted out here. As Willie land the Voidseeker. There's the flash forward as Kellen's going to get the flash out of Faker. Voidseeker comes in and Deft still wanting to try and get it. And there's first blood. They take down Faker and get his flash.
Beautiful roam up. Perfect timing. They just got the Herald. No mid laner to defend. Owner, I guess he could come over and ult, but that damage is already done. The Herald's going to come down, and that's going to be 3 plates mid secured. Man. Suddenly Wasim able to get the passive proc very quickly, and now T1 to start on this Dragon, but looks like a contest is coming through, but Showmaker just got chunked.
Yeah. Faker also taking a bit of damage, but Showmaker a bit lower. Does have flash, does have Emperor's Divide. As the Nature's Grasp is going to come out, Deft is going to be able to walk past Canyon, but the Glacial Prison landing isn't going to matter if the Drake is just dead, and the DPLUS going to have to walk their way out. Pulverize comes in, there's the flash headbutt as Canyon tries to get himself out of there. The smash bash back though onto the Sejuani. Permafrost does come in and Canyon is surviving for the moment, but he is going to fall in the end. Kind of cute that he gets a bit of a walk around, and that is going to be the first kill for T1.
Winning from that point.
Yeah. Ooh, the chains are going to be broken here. Oh, they're going to miss. And there's the flash out. Zeus is going to stay alive. Kellen's running for it, but he finds the 3-man quickness and grand entrance that there is no follow-up for. So unfortunately, it doesn't get enough done. Still, no one's going to die on the top side, and there are a few summoner spells now on cooldown.
That play from Kellen. Oh, might see a bit more here.
Yeah, Faker is... This is not your turret, Faker. As Showmaker is going to get the Emperor's Divide, the flash. It doesn't work out, and now Faker is going to have to take the other side, and he will be all right, at least for the moment. Still, Canyon's moving over. Shock Blast coming in, and can Faker find himself an execute or some sort of avenue of escape? And the answer is no, because Showmaker will just hit him with a couple of auto attacks. That is going to be the solo kill. Zeus even has his, and he's closer to this fight. As now, DPLUS moving in, another Glacial Prison going to come through, but this Drake is going to belong to T1, and they'll just walk their way out. Trade some ultimates from some junglers, and it's going to be an Ocean Soul today.
Just burning the quickness.
Oh, that's a flash pulverize. They get the headbutt onto Deft here as well. Lit on fire, trying to keep himself alive, but it's not going to work out as Gumushi does come in. We've got a trade, though, as Faker just smashed into the wall and will be taken down. Still, T1 can transition into this mid-outer turret, and they have Shirley to help him out.
Yeah, ideal scenario for T1. Obviously, DPLUS going to pick on the top side, but the Herald means the T1 pick is so much more significant.
And Anna and Kellen not going to be able to do anything. An inner turret at this stage of the game, that should be able to mitigate any sort of gold lead that DPLUS had earlier on. DPLUS haven't necessarily seen him in a few of these other fights actually figure too much out, as there's a Hex Flash headbutt pull from Carrier. As the Nature's Grasp comes down, Canna is going to be able to press that Dominus button as Deft is doing his best to find some damage. And Owner is burning down, ticking, and there's Showmaker picking up another one. That was a beautiful defensive play from DPLUS Kia.
Yeah, really well played there from Deft, but a lot of summoners burned from the side of DPLUS, so they want to start the fight immediately. They don't want to give T1 a chance to group up again, and with the jungler down, T1 have to fight this. They can't try and go for a steal.
Feels like a bit of a shooting gallery here, as we'll have to see whether Faker can land a few more of these shock blasts. Moving towards this one, Canna doesn't have dominance, but he's still pretty scary. There's a headbutt as Zeus has popped the world ender. Carrier getting taken down low, as now the full health Aatrox is trying to get this one done. Deft is already dead, and Showmaker, he can't do anything. The Baron still up and alive, and DPLUS just
running it back.
I guess so. I mean, Deft had his ultimate available and just didn't have a target that he could get to, I guess. In that last fight is now T1. They're going to throw down the Nature's Grasp. Showmaker and Deft do manage to get out of the way of it, but Canyon not going to be so lucky. Pull back still does have the Aftershock, and so therefore is going to be able to survive for the moment, but another World Ender comes down and Canyon is dead. Zeus is just a freight train in these fights. Still, Canna is able to sidestep a few of these abilities, but that is no jungler now for DPLUS, and the shoe is on the other foot.
Yeah, T1 potentially going to look...
Oh, there's another flash from Carrier. Doesn't quite get the headbutt in the place that he wants there onto Showmaker. His Emperor's Divide does go down, but he is still dead. Canna trying to get into that backline as Faker is going to try and kite out the Crocodile, and he will. It's a double kill for Gumayushi. Deft is going to get stepped on by Zeus, and T1, they'll even take a blue buff as they head back towards this Baron.
Phenomenal setup on the Baron. Clear out the vision, and they have Carrier looking for the pick. Showmaker had ult, and he didn't even get a chance to use it for like be heavy with the damage profile now. Hexdrinker coming out for Zeus. If T1 stacks some MR, there's just no chance that DPLUS take it down, but they overcommit mid for the Aatrox and are losing the top inhibitor tower as a result. Yeah. T1 just playing this one masterfully.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely the option. There aren't very many good ones as Showmaker takes a big shock blast there from Faker. He just finished his Zerilda's.
This is a big spike for the Jason. You know, Faker's had a rough game, picked out a lot, not doing the best in the laning phase, but now the damage is really coming through, and if they can't approach, you're just going to get poked out, but the Dragon's already gone.
Yeah, it's just done. And now you've got Showmaker having to move back.
Juani with the Renekton, but against Isaiah. How are you supposed to do anything? You see Carrier's already playing bodyguard.
And they're on full vision as Grand Entrance does fly forward. Gumayushi's Featherstorm has already been used as Canyon's moving in. Showmaker trying to find an angle. He is so much of the damage. Kind of a shooting gallery here for DPLUS, but Canna gets over the wall and Zeus just executes him. This Aatrox, man, you got to keep your eye on him in these team fights. Void Seeker is not going to find him there, and now with a man advantage, T1 are going to press forward. Inhibitor number 1 is going to go down. Faker presses W, that's going to help him grab that one as Carrier doesn't find the headbutt. Can't quite get to the pulverizers. There's a twisted advance. Ona goes so far in and will just get destroyed. Good flash there from Deft to make sure they get that one, but still, 2 inhibitors for Ona. You probably take that if you are T1. I think it is, and there it goes. So Ona going to be able to lock that one down. Now DPLUS are looking for a team fight, but Carrier, he's found Kellen, their key form of engage, and he just gets destroyed. The defensive ultimate from Canyon is decent, but DPLUS is still going to have to get out, and Zeus is so fast as he moves towards them. Permafrost does come in. Deft trying to find some autos, but look at that Q3, and Zeus will not be silenced. The Dustblade makes him untargetable, and Canyon is doing everything that he can to escape, but he's not going to be able to stop this Nexus from exploding as T1 look dominant in the later game and will take down DPLUS. The first game of this best-of-5 series.
Felt like a pretty silent game from Canyon on this one. Not the best performance from him, not able to get it going, but T1 looked...
a little bit more on the defensive ebb.
It's a weird one, because typically you don't see Braum into Rakan much.
Yeah,
Rakan is a Braum counter, because it's very hard to stack up the passive on him, because he's so mobile. But it's clearly in line with the...
Who does have a stun, and now the top laner is Renekton, so instead of a bunch of knockups, there's now a bunch of other stuff as Faker is going to dive forward. Has to flash as the Grand Entrance is going to lock down Carrier. They do manage to get the passive proc, because of course Braum pretty good level 1. But still, I think that is a decent trade here for DPLUS.
Faker not having a fun time in this matchup.
Whoa, that's a flash forward from Carrier. Okay, the Grand Exit comes through there from Kellen, and
especially when you have such a tanky front line, and Deft is overstepping here.
Yeah, he definitely is. He's going to have to flash, and there is the passive. Deft is going to be taken down. Ona tanking the turret, and he is just fine. Perfect. First gank here is Canyon. He's going to try his hand at taking down Faker. He doesn't have flash, but he does have a bit of a head start as he moves towards the brush. And he will be able to get in here. Gets the ward over the wall, and Faker is still going to get knocked up by the Arctic Assault.
Well,
still
so close.
just barely. And that may just continue here. Showmaker does take a shock blast as Faker's dove forward. Does have his flashback available once again as there's the Flash Emperor's Divide, and Faker, he's not going to press his flash button just yet. We'll see whether he does manage to make his way out, and he does. And it looks like DPLUS is just going to let him go.
Yep, and you know, if...
Down, and that is the army of Owner that's going to be triggered here by Canyon. It's going to move on in and spots that something is afoot. Okay, there's the flash forward from Callan. Gumayusi going to cleanse now. Glacial Prison comes down. Carrier just standing next to Gumayusi. Permafrost is in. Does manage to stun up this Xayah as Carrier looking for even more because they have a tree on the way. It might have been a little bit much though as Deft is going to have to cleanse. The root is not going to be there. And there is the hit back onto Callan. So 3 versus 3, some low health bars on both sides. As Canyon dashes forward, Killer Instinct comes down. Carrier is going to protect them for so long. But Deft is going to go down in the end. Callan and Canyon getting the other two. So a positive.
Been a 3 for 0.
Yeah.
If he wasn't so quick with the shield there.
Pretty dangerous. But still, Rift Herald now going to come down. Callan, the only one really in the area. There is a Killer Instinct on Deft, but he's not going to be able to get anywhere near in range in time. And so Gumayusi. Yeah. And we do have the cull cashed in as, okay, Glacial Prison is going to go wide. The knockup comes through from Callan, though, as Carrier wondering where he wants to put the door and decides that Deft is going to be the option. Still, Deft, oh, he does find it. Killer Instinct not going to be opted into. Knew that it was going to be his life for the enemy support. Probably there is a teleport ward, and immediately the teleport comes down. Faker wanting to lock down Deft. Voidseeker is going to connect there as he uses Faker as a taxi out. The Nature's Grasp is going to find Deft, but he's now too far away as Canna looking for Zeus. Does manage to knock him back a few times. As DPLUS, they're going to look for the Crocodile first. A few Qs going to connect, a few slows going to land. T1, they form the Phalanx. They are now on this Dragon. Taking a fair bit of damage. You can see Deft now without the ultimate. He does have Flash to get over that wall if he'd like to, but not going to be doing that. He's going to need that for the future as the Dragon just gets interested in Canyon and Canyon presses Smite.
And I think
you were focusing on the fight, weren't you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's on me.
Man.
I didn't playoffs as well.
Yeah.
This is actually really bad for DPLUS because their advantage they have in the early game is the 2 dragons. And now they get scammed because...
Well, Callan is going to quickness and dive forward. Does manage to trade it here for Gumayusi's Featherstorm. Probably good news. Also gets the cleanse. But having to use Flash doesn't feel all that fantastic, even if you do have all of the mobility that the Rakan does have. Now if Deft does sink his teeth in, could be something that he could work with, but Carry is going to be in the area. This turret is extraordinarily low, so I have a feeling that Deft might just need to get out of there. There's the flash, and so Canyon's now going to move in, and Carrier, he could be in trouble. Does still have flash available, but there's the permanent frost, and now Gumayusi is up against the wall and just taken down. That is 2 swift ones there in trade, flash and cleanse. As Callan getting underneath this turret. Faker is relatively low. Zeus is here though, and he's very capable of diving this one. Owner going to turn up as well. So outer turret in trade for the 2 kills in the bottom lane, and they also were able to take the outer turret. And so I would say, kind of working out all right, although T1 do lose their bottom outer. So I guess, in the end, kind of okay for DPLUS in that one.
Yeah, I think...
Oh, unless this Rift Herald...
DPLUS are the one with 2 dragons.
That is true.
They were banking on getting a good soul, and then they get scammed out of it.
As, all right, Gumayusi is going to press Featherstorm, but is it actually going to be enough? He decides that a flash is not going to save him, and I think he might be right, as Faker is teleported in. Deft taking a fair bit of damage from that shock blast, as he may have overextended. The ulti is going to connect, but only onto Canyon, who will be A-OK. Battle Dance gets Callan well and truly out of there, and so DPLUS. They get towards their turrets, and Showmaker's here on the top side. This is working. Controller does go over, so T1 get full information as to what's going on. Deft going to be moving in here as, yeah, they are doing it again. Teleport going to come through from T1. Let's see how this one goes. As Shock Blast connects onto Deft, and now they have to vacate. It is a decent ultimate there from Canyon, but he's still going to get pushed around. The ulti comes through. Faker even hit by the Baron, as that's an incredible ult to come through from Callan, keeping himself alive as well. Canna taking some Shock Blasts. And these Void Seekers do need to land. They want to keep T1 out of this area. DPLUS. Oh man, you are making me so nervous.
This is very tense, and it kind of worked. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's kind of, if this was any other soul, that would feel really bad.
Yeah.
You want to like, well, that's not great, not terrible.
No. Not the end of the world. Still, they are going to go for a reset, and DPLUS now with their soul, they can move toward.
And you want to like, you know what? Starting Baron sounds pretty fun because Death has no mana and hasn't recalled. He has a lot of gold on him.
And it is in full vision of DPLUS, but what are they going to be able to actually do about it is there's the flash out from Canyon. Kellen looking for an angle. Voidseeker connects. The Baron is going to be secured by T1. They may lose Zeus, but maybe that'll be worth this. Gumayusi caught in the back of the pit, does have to flash. The Crocodile takes a while to go down. Deft uses the last remnants of his mana to do so. And so, Croc for Baron. I guess you take though. Poke War being won by Faker.
If Kellen's there, he can cue the Elder for heals, but he's nowhere near.
He is, and now can get behind as the Nature's Grasp comes in. They line up behind Canyon as Zeus going to be moving in. He gets spotted by Kellen, who's going to quickness. Can he actually get into the backline? He does! Gumayusi going to get locked down, but he does Featherstorm. There's the flash, but they get into the backline, and just some Cassante things as the Emperor's Divide is going to push away the Croc. Massive damage, actually, as the Gore Drinker does a bunch of work, and Owner is going to take an Elder after losing the team fight. Okay. Still, now the Cassante is going to dive on top of him, and I don't know whether very much Elder value is coming in as DPLUS get a clean ace after giving over the Elder.
Elder for Nexus trade, we see it again. Never a good trade. Ultimately, T1, we see a phenomenal flank there from Kellen, able to shut out Gumayusi, able to take him down, get him low enough that the follow-up's there. And that is enough to claim the fight. They don't get the Elder, but it doesn't matter when you get the game. Carrier cannot defend this solo.
Yeah, and DPLUS, they will even out the series. It's just the best of 3 that we've got to look.
I'm not really sure what the direction is for DPLUS's composition. Also, he could have gone for his opponent's blue buff, but wants the gank instead.
Yeah, he's going to flash forward, actually gets the crash down, and Faker's going to flash, but I don't know whether it's going to be enough. First blood to Canyon as
Canyon's jungle to help him out.
Oh, well, there's been a lot of this.
That even. This is the decider, right? First to 30.
The 59th Azir versus Corki.
Best of 59.
Oh, man. Incredible. Owner is going to win out this time. Does get the Steadfast Presence as Kellen's moving over. Showmaker's here as well, though, as he shifts the sands in, gets the flash out. Buckler going to hit the... Very healthy, but neither is Deft. Doesn't have that many piercing arrows in him. As, all right, there's the flash forward from Kellen. Gets the flash out from Gumayusi. Good reactions from the 80 carry. Also,
Owner now showing a button. This has been a...
There's the flash forward from Carrier. Deft is going to cleanse it immediately. They get the knock-up. Carrier's burning, and there's the hail of arrows. And they're just going to pick up the kill in the 2v2, I guess, because Owner didn't even have a chance to come in.
I'm not sure what the game plan on the Dragon. Securing an early one would be massive for them. When you're a Corki composition, you're obviously going to have that package to leverage later. Yeah. And a TP in from Zeus.
Deft finds a Chains of Corruption as Kellen trying to come forward. As there's the flash from Deft. Carrier going to go down. Faker needs to flash away as well. But Gumayusi doing a lot of damage. Showmaker getting low as Zeus is flapping his wings. The crash down comes forward. Showmaker not going to get taken out here as Deft is really dead. Really, really dead. And now DPLUS underneath their turret might be able to survive. So I believe a 1-for-1 in the end. And Infernal Chains that does sort of go through the floor just a little bit. Sometimes.
The Herald, normally we see junglers hold on to it for a bit longer, find a bit of window. They're just going to throw it down and try and get 2 plates here. I think Showmaker gets a closure, yeah. It'll be 2.
Yep.
So thinning out the mid tower. Obviously the goal with this is often you want to take that. He uses the crash down.
Dangerous. And there's the Keeper's Verdict. Cannon not going to be stunned as now Kellen diving forward. He needs to run, though, to try and pick this one up. Emperor's Divide is going to push Zeus under the turret. And now Showmaker trying to get the last few autos. Can they actually find it, though? Zeus is still alive. Finally, the auto comes through, and now the Sand Soldiers are plowing in. The Magnet Storm, gigantic. and Ona needing to run out of there. Their health bars are low, but DPLUS will wipe the floor with it. Finding angles on Renata and things like this is we've got another potential fight on our hands. Gumayusi gets over the wall into the back of the pit. Carrier now going to throw down the Nature's Grasp. Kellen comes through. There's the package from Faker. He's going to Valkyrie away as Def trying to get on over. Good flash comes through as it isn't the greatest engage from this Rakan. Canna is tanking them up, and there's the all-out. They pull back Carrier, and he's going to look to try and escape and not make it in. It's, oh my goodness, Faker's going to get thrown into the falling apart Summoner's Rift as we have an Elder Soul on our hands, but Showmaker still going to get taken down. Massive knockup, but there is the Magnet Storm as Canyon dives in. Somehow Canna stays alive. The grand exit from Kellen, and I think in the end, DPLUS win out. Right? Kinda 2 for 1.
Yeah, I guess, but they lost the dragon. But also, that was just so scrappy. So
standing on a ward
with how T1.
Okay, well, Faker Valkyrieing forward and then decides against really fighting Showmaker here, who does get the Conqueror, and there's the ultimate. So 1v1, Faker is just going to try and vacate, takes his plane, and he wants to get out of here as Nature's Grasp coming through yet again. Now a re-engage onto just one here from Canyon, as it's a dead Zeus. Everyone just comes through, and the Keeper's verdict, it kind of is that DPLUS are winning this game.
Yeah, I mean, DPLUS are looking great. The gold lead isn't super significant, but they have the kill edge. But they need to start stacking up those dragons. If T1 get the...
between those two is now Rift Herald. Going to move its way towards this outer turret in mid. And the Drake is live. DPLUS are going to deal with that one first. That is going to be their first Infernal of a potential for this game, but they'll trade it for the outer turret in mid lane. See whether that's going to be worth it, because it can be very dangerous.
Moving bot lane.
Yeah, and Gumayusi is kind of in a rough spot. Does get Hail of Arrowed, and they have this control ward here that is so powerful. Canna can find an angle, and he does do so, but Carrier is here. There is, oh no, the Bramble Smash is going to kill Gumayusi, and now Zeus is looking for death. Showmaker has made his way in, though, with his teleport, and Zeus, can you actually find it? Death trying to outplay, and he will get it. The Dustblade gonna proc, and it makes him look real cool, but it's Showmaker in the end that is able to wipe up.
He's super pressed about DPLUS.
This is a patented classic DPLUS Baron angle. Faker doesn't have teleport, but he does have package. They have full information. This is going down extraordinarily low. Keeper's verdict comes down now as Ona tries to get in. The Baron he's already taken, though, as the Nature's Grasp comes on through. Deft in the back of the pit, doesn't have flash. He is staying there, or he is dead. As Gumayusi now taking a lot of damage into the backline. They go Emperor's Divide, but the Azir is still dead. And Deft is still there in the back of that Baron pit. He wants to take someone with him, but he's not going to be able to. Zeus chasing out the remaining members of DPLUS, and thank goodness they managed to get the Baron, because they did not win the fight.
Yeah, and a lot of
the arrows just looking for Gumayusi there, seeing whether that poke can connect. Owner in the area, looking like a bit of a 50-50 angle here as they have Soul Point on the go. As it is Showmaker that somehow locks down the dragon, but now the fight is on. Kellen trying to dash out of here. Does have a theoretical angle, but it looks like T1 just going to back away, not push the issue. Kellen not going to be able to kind of love it. We'll see whether it actually works out, though. It is going to give us another team fight. Zeus looking for that angle. Canyon can dive on in. It's going to mitigate the Nature's Grasp as the Keeper's verdict will make this one a messed up fight. And that is going to be the Baron that is secured by T1. Canna trying to dive forward. He does take down the Corki, but at what cost? As Zeus is looking for Showmaker now. Emperor's Divide is available, but he's still going to have to flash to get out of the way of this one. Zeus is just looking inevitable right now, but he just pops like a balloon. That's kind of what that build's going to do, but now Deft is getting closed in on. Emperor's Divide's going to push them away, and Deft somehow survives for so long, and now Gumayusi is taking matters into his own hands. What was that, Showmaker? He is still going to be able to go golden, but now slammed into the wall and will be taken down. It was almost extraordinary. But in the end, didn't quite work, and only Kellen and Deft walk away.
You know, it looked really cool.
Gumayusi just going to outrange the Chains of Corruption. Is now Canyon getting closed in on. Yeah, he's going to Magnet Storm, but he's still going to die. He's doing so much damage there as Faker as well. That level 16 that you were talking about, so dangerous for the Corki. The inner turret going to be taken down. And Kellen was on a flank, but there's nothing to flank anymore as Canyon was taken down. And so he's going to have to go back. He is going to be able to do so. Keeper's verdict channeled. He's going to cancel it. Now Kellen moves in and notices that his base is just being destroyed.
Just brutal at this point, and it's so hard.
I don't think you ever really managed to do very much to Faker. if they get Infernal Soul. You're exactly right, as Faker is going to use the package here actually to get out of the way. Ona taking a lot of damage. Nature's Grasp comes in, and they tried to get on top of Ona, but it's Canyon that falls down. He is going to have to back away because he's very, very low. But there's only a few moments here for DPLUS to try and lock this one down, and they have no smite available now.
They have to fight.
Yeah, not a lot more. Kellen, he can be mitigated so well by Ona on this Poppy. The Rakan, it's so difficult for him. As DPLUS, they know they can't give this up, and Zeus is looking for a flank angle. They just boop away the Rakan. There is the Infernal Soul. The knock-up onto Zeus is fantastic, and Jeff just explodes. T1, I think this might be just it. The last team fight as Carrier goes on a big old journey. Canna tries to look for an angle, but they find Showmaker. They take him down. There is no damage left remaining. And you can do as many Kasante things as you want, Canna. You are still going to lose your Nexus. And T1 will move to match point in the series.
Some phenomenal play there. The knock away on the Rakan with the ultimate so good. The package from Faker to dodge the engage. Some phenomenal moves from T1. A scrappy game, a very back and forth game. But in the end, T1 come out ahead, 2-1, and 1 game away.
Yeah. But the Annie going to be locked in here. Definitely a fiery theme, as it's only the Rel. It doesn't have red in the portrait. And DPLUS look like they have a composition from a little while ago, with Aphelios back once again. I think as far as champions that do not spark joy, Aphelios has really started. Let's jump onto the Rift here for what could be the final game. An eruption here in LoL Park as T1 fans are yelling at the
plating. You're not going to have a fun time there. I'm going to be real.
Well, Kellen is just going to... Oh, man, that sidestep was slick. As Gumushi's lit on fire quite early on in this one. Carrier taking a fair bit of damage as well.
Yeah, actually.
Alongside Kellen with their gigantic CS lead that they have at this early stage of the game. There is a Q. All Out comes forward as well as Canyon wanting to wait for the flash to come in as Zeus is trying to end the world. They do manage to get the permafrost. There's the layering of CC, and there is no flash option here as first blood goes to Canna.
Really well played by Canna.
As Canna tanking up the turret momentarily is going to get infernally chained, but now Canna behind the turret. Going to be pretty happy with this situation. Has his Bramble Vest completed as well as his Steel Caps. And Zeus will now just try and fight him, and maybe he can just win, as All Out is available. Canna is going to try and dash to where he can actually escape as the Q3 comes down. Canna is looking for it. He breaks the chains, finds a Q. Will he have another dash? Who will have the dash first? And the answer is Zeus, and he has a Q, and he's just going to get a solo.
Not really sure what Canna was going for when he opted to take 2 tower hits into Proxy, but that is the end result. Zeus punishes him, and Showmaker?
Yeah, there is a Magnet Storm from Ona, but he is taking a lot of damage. Canyon doesn't have a lot, though, to offer as Tibbers trying to keep Shelly busy, and if this is no charge, it is no value, and it is going to be exactly. As Carrier is going to supervise as this dragon is going to be taken. The rest of his teammates not in the area, so that is going to be first Drake down. And Hex going over to DPLUS as Carrier going to face check Canyon. He's going to find an Arctic Assault. Canyon actually holding onto the Glacial Prison, not wanting to use it onto Carrier here as Showmaker is teleported in. Gumayushi could be in trouble as they're diving forward. They just get the Feather Storm as Showmaker now going to get taken down so incredibly low. He is drilled in, and Def not able to offer any damage back. That's actually Zeus getting
a good punish from Gumayushi and the rest of T1, and they will get the second Herald as a reward, but bet at night, ponder it.
Maybe. As Canyon, I thought that maybe he'd press his R button, but decides to hold onto it for the moment. Faker now trying to fight Showmaker here, as this time he's going to jump in and grab himself a kill. So,
what I like to call the vibe check.
Yeah. I think that's a great way to do it. I call it my waters. As Owner is going to wander towards Canyon, who is kind of by himself. There is a
so risky though against this T1 comp. There's so much engage. Oh, Carrier.
Yeah, he's going to get dove on once again. He's desperately looking for these flanks as he battle dances. Has the extended range, and that shock blast fantastic here from Showmaker. That is going to force the back, and it might.
But suddenly they're like, wait, we're against T1.
Yeah.
What are they just Baron? I could totally see Morgan doing this.
Yeah. I could see him saying that it's a good move. As DPLUS are gonna, oh, that's a lot of damage onto a priority target here as Canna is not gonna waste any time. They get a Featherstorm already. It's angled pretty nicely here, but now Zeus realizes that he cannot stay in this Baron pit. And T1 losing all of this damage on their main carry is going to give DPLUS an opportunity to head over towards the Baron themselves. Carrier looking for that flank angle, and Faker is still there. Flash, Tibbers, both available. Canyon needs to be careful with his positioning also as DPLUS, they have a feeling that Carrier is lurking over the wall. The control ward going to spot him out as now Zeus wanting to get back into the fight once again. DK, they back away. Moonlight Vigil clips Faker right on the edge and they grab the seat. Oh, Canyon not able to get an owner. Locks down the Baron, but can DPLUS find the fight? The Aphelios already taken out and T1! Oh, it's the lethality on this Aatrox, and he decided he's not going to get one shot. He is one-shotting them.
Manages to get the Baron with the smite from Owner, but on top of that, they crush all of DPLUS. The engage comes in, the momentum comes in. They might actually just end.
This might just be the end of the game. You're exactly right.
Seconds with Baron, only Kellen to defend. Looks like they're hesitating on it. Carry up to the recall. Looks like they're not going to look for the eye. Would have been kind of close, but they think they don't need to end the game right now. They'll take the inhib, probably reset and head over to the Dragon, but man, DPLUS get decimated in that fight.
5-1 and
you haven't left your base in probably the last 3 minutes, maybe. And if you look at the map, there's one ward that's about a timeout in mid.
Hey, there's a control ward in top tribal.
Yeah,
there we go.
That's what you're working with right now. Oh, you do have, I think that's a blue ward in top lane brush, which is helpful to no one, but it is there. Oh, there's a new ward.
Beautiful.
You know,
repairing, and is providing vision of Zeus.
Exactly. And now they're aggressively pushing in.
That is a Glacial Prison. They do manage to get the cleanse out of Gumushu, takes a lot of damage. The flash comes out as Tibbers into the backline, and explode goes the Lulu, but thankfully it's not death, but he has to deal with Zeus, who just blows him up. My god, the damage of this Aatrox is absurd. Showmaker tries to use his hammer to get rid of him, but the Infernal Chains come down, and it's a double once again. I think Zeus might get a POG for this particular game, as it's looking a little bit like a 3-1 for T1 as they take down the inhibitor. They'll take down the Nexus turrets, and they are moving on in the playoffs. Could even be a telecom war for the next round as well. Congratulations to T1, feeling a little bit like a rags